Now, I saw in another interview you saying that I mean, the writing process seems really interesting to me for you because you spent a year just writing conversations between the main characters before you got
Yeah.
into writing the book.
Yeah, I think mostly because, well, there were a few reasons. So I was writing it during COVID, when, everything felt slightly off, didn't it? The whole world
Yeah.
felt different, and it was hard to concentrate. It was hard to shut out the noise. I was also going back to the 70s before I was born. So that felt completely alien as well. And then I was going to Missouri, somewhere I'd never been before and didn't know an awful lot about. So I had these teenage characters that felt really alien to me. They felt like total strangers, like I had nothing in common with them, didn't know anything about their lives. And I thought about my own life and how I get to know my friends, how I got to know my partner. And it's through conversation, it's through asking questions and listening to answers. And so I set about writing a series of conversations between these two 13-year-olds in Missouri. And I learned loads about them over the year that I wrote these conversations, because what was really interesting would be what they held back from each other.
Yeah.
Patch is a 13-year-old kid whose dad died in Vietnam, whose mum is struggling to be a mother. But he would never reveal this side of himself. He would see it as a weakness, and he would he's full of bravado and swagger, and calls himself a pirate. And so when he's speaking to Saint, she doesn't learn any of this stuff about him. She only realizes what's going on in his life when she goes up to his front door and looks through the window and sees him caring for his mum. But she doesn't call him on it because she knows it'd embarrass him. And for her part, I had this character that is brilliant. She's a genius. She's very intelligent. She's really inquisitive. She's really kind, really strong. She has all these traits that probably weren't as celebrated in a girl in the 70s and in this particular town. So she learns to not raise her hand if she knows the answer to a question, or not raise it too often, because it alienates her. And so she holds back when she has these conversations and kind of plays her role. But then gradually, over the year of this conversation between the two of them, they completely open up to each other and they form this bond. And it's a bond that shapes the beginning of the story, because by the time in year 2, when I began to write the story, when I wrote the opening scenes, when Patch is walking to school and he hears a girl being abducted and sees a man with a van about to take this girl, I knew that he would rush straight in without thinking about it, because I knew him so well. Yeah. And as soon as he gets taken and the girl gets away, I knew that Saint would devote all of her time to finding him, even when the police kind of give up, because she is that tenacious. So it was a really good way of doing it. It just was very slow.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, as a writer, and I'm sort of thinking, I want to write more books, and I'm interested in writing fiction. It's sort of just, there's a part of me that thinks, oh, I'll just sit down and I'll just write it and get on with it. And obviously, that's really really difficult, but it works for some people.
That is the way to do it.
Yeah.